Hello everybody and welcome back to Chaotic Neutral Games and our D&D 5th edition campaign, The Benefactor. This is session 39, oh my god, that already. And I'm here today with Felicia, Rodrigo, Corinne, Nick and Kate as we carry on with a strange funeral, a Cordish funeral, by which we have some strange effects on little Cora and a little bit of world building as there's a lot of people from all around Vardencore and beyond. So let's get back into it. Hello, guys.
Hello.
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 Before we get started, I'd like to do a little bit of a shout out. Recently, I was shouting out to an old favourite of mine because she's plastered all over that wall there behind the screen, Feline Trickster. But we've actually had a piece of art from someone new. His name is Blue Kev, and that's the art. Let's do that one first. And he's done Aiden, and Rodrigo sent this to me linked this to me just before the start of the stream. It's actually covering up the real Aiden, so let's move that for a sec. There we go. Bit of a likeness there. There we go. And if you want to follow Blue Kev, he's on DeviantArt and Instagram. So Blue Kev on DeviantArt and Blue Kev 2, that's the letter 2 directly afterwards, on Instagram. And he's got funky art. He's a fantastic portrait artist. And,
He's great. He loves doing D&D art, so if you want to commission him, please do.
Yeah. I do like the fact that he's got this lovely mood to how he uses colour. Yeah. Because that background is all him, isn't it, as well? The choice of the background.
Yeah, he also used to be my old DM before Benefactor,
Cool.
and he is a fucking great DM as well. He's also streaming on Twitch, although he's streaming exclusively in Spanish. So if you're interested in that, that will be RODALQ Twitch. That's his Twitch channel. Let me see. RODALEQQ.
Wow.
On Twitch.
Stick it in chat.
If you want to put it in the Twitch chat, that'd be great.
I don't have chat open because having the Twitch open just fucking incinerates my modem. So.
Oh, sure, no problem. Well, if you want to tweet it out a little bit later,
Sure.
I was just about to call you Aiden, Rodrigo, and what we'll do is that we'll bounce it onto Chaotic Neutral and Casca Niobe as well, and tweet that out to do that, because I only linked over Twitter his DeviantArt to start with. Okay.
No, that's okay. He told me he preferred that.
That's great. Blue Kev, and thank you very much. Having another wonderful piece of art of one of our characters is always welcome, and we're kind of humbled and appreciative of it, because I never expected to have so much wonderful art just thrown my way. It's amazing. So, that's all the announcements for now. Shall we get into the game? Let's have a little bit of ambience here. Let's. Where is it? There we go. In this remote tavern, on a crossroads in the middle of South Vardencore, people are having a fantastic time. They're carousing, fighting, flirting, boasting. A bunch of mercenaries, about 200 all told, not just inside the tavern but camped around it, for the funeral of Marcus Summersby, a local folk hero, a man that started off with humble beginnings, as you're starting to learn from various conversations around the tavern, to becoming a hero, a reluctant hero, taking his felling axe and instead of cutting down trees, hewing down goblins and Bahir, and living to a ripe old age. He was never taken down no matter what he fought. And for this, I'm just going to turn the sound down a little bit.
Right old age of 33.
This is medieval time, so of course, 33 sounds about right.
Actually, no.
The reason why the life expectancy was really low in medieval times was because of the high child mortality, not because people died early.
Just you don't
They
use
clearly
logic
never
here.
lived in Illyria.
Silly play.
Anyway,
Yeah, this is fucking D&D. Who cares?
yeah, they didn't have dragons in real medieval life, so let's go with
Don't
that.
know.
Stood dumbstruck in the middle of the tavern after leaping through the air as a body of fire is Cora. As for the first time in a very long time, she has seen a face from her past. A face that is inextricably linked with her emotions, her hopes and dreams, which once were taken away from her. And this is where we're going to start off. Kate, you've just landed on the floor after seeing this figure of beauty. And there's nothing there. I'd like you to do a quick perception check for me.
Nine.
A 9. Okay.
Are you gonna do, Simon, because I know we talked about it with the passive perception stuff and how you can't roll below passive, or are you not gonna do that?
Yeah, quite right. So we were looking into this the other day because one of my characters is going to take the observant feat at level 4. And when I was looking into passive perception, and it says passive investigation as well, I looked into it, and there's actually a D&D Beyond, I think, podcast article where they talk about rules as intended for passive perception and passive investigation. It turns out, rules as intended, you can't roll below your passive perception. So, Cora, what's your passive? It should be 10 plus your perception. 13. Okay, so that's going to be what you see, hear, smell, all the rest of it. Even though this place is suffused with a miasma of sweat and beer and other liquor which smells like you better stick with the beer, there's that whiff of something beautiful, otherworldly, a strange perfume, spiced, kind of... It reminds you of Christmas spice. That kind of fiery. If you were to give it a colour, it would be a vibrant red-brown. And it's just a small whiff of that hits your nostrils. Completely out of place to everything else. And it's as if a breeze gave it to you. But you can't tell which direction it came from. That's what you get at DC 30.
I'm going to assume that because I was paying attention to her beating up somebody, I would have definitely have noticed the halfling that then leapt across the room out of a big burning ball of fire.
Yes.
There is something I want to do, but I'm quite happy to just wait if there's anything you wanted to do, Kate.
I think that Cora, at least for the first couple of seconds, is probably still on fire and desperately looking around. I think she's gonna stop burning. I don't know. I think there's probably a timer on it, to be honest, anyway. But yeah, the fire's gonna go out, and she's gonna just start kind of shouting and calling for Enola, and looking all around the people, even if they're fighting, just zoned out to everybody else except trying to find Enola.
So farewell. You know who Enola is. And I would like you to do a perception check with disadvantage.
Bastard. I'm not that worried anyway.
especially considering your passive perception is insane.
It's horrendous. Yeah,
Thanks to the
with
observant feat.
disadvantage. Yeah, thanks to the observant feat. 40 is what I rolled, but my observant feat that shot straight up to 26.
Your passive is 26.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
We established
Disgusting.
this on the...
I've got max whiz. I've got X in it, and the because of the observant.
+5 from
Okay.
7, so like
So at 26, bear in mind you were not as close as Kate, so there's certain things that only Kate could have got. You get the small whiff that's like nutmeg, cinnamon, that kind of warming spice that just seems to come from nowhere. And whilst you watch Cora flying through the air as this body of flame, I would like you to roll me a luck dice to see what you saw. So roll me a d20.
Ooh.
19.
19. It's one of those strange things that you were looking that direction and you saw what you saw, but you didn't register until now what it is you saw. Because you were distracted because your best friend just turned into fire and flew across the room. It's kind of distracting. It's like, seeing somebody you know in a crowd, but a bomb's gone off. You're more interested in the bomb right then. But now that you've kind of got the few seconds that it's taken to stride up to Cora, yeah, you saw Enola's face in the crowd. She was wearing what seemed to be quite decorative leathers, and you also noticed that there was someone with her that's not there now, and it's a taller than Enola by probably about, I'd say about 1.5 feet, and the person that you saw was a black, so kind of African looking woman, very, very short hair, so almost bald, and her eyes the irises of her eyes were this bright orange, not kind of burning so that they stood out in the crowd, but when she looked around, now that you're collecting your thoughts of what you saw, yeah, they were orange. They were somehow otherworldly, and they moved very quickly, it seemed, and disappeared. That part, you have a feeling that you should have seen them leave the room, but they must have done something magical. Maybe they're still here, maybe they're invisible, who knows. But they just kind of shifted. It's kind of a lurch, like turning your shoulders or something like that, and they were gone.
Okay. Oh dear.
But at least you
So
know that
I will-
Cora's not insane. You saw her too. God, that passive perception's going to kill me in this game.
Yeah, I need
This
to
is the
look
wrong
at that.
game to have that in a player.
I think you
Yeah.
can probably work around it because if you're desperately trying to look, look out of a window, you're not going to see something behind you, even if your passive perception would, because you're focused on a different.
Yeah.
well, it's
That
There's still
That-
that.
that or Simon is gonna start implementing invisible enemies in every encounter from now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more going to be a case of how much you understand of what you see, how much you focus on it. But if you're going to be investing, as Nick has done, in all the observance feats, then yeah, why not? Let's do it. And it just means that you guys benefit from having a very, very sharp-eyed boy on the team, and we'll be able to catch things that you won't necessarily do. Saying that, you have to have been in a place that you would be able to see them, is what I'm going to rule. So, for example, if you're camping, I would say that somebody who was having a conversation with the person who did the initial observation check If they were speaking to Farewell at the time, then sure, Farewell has a good chance of seeing them. If Farewell says, oh, well, actually, I'm off tending somebody's wounds, or I'm off praying to the Raven Queen, or something like that, then I'll say, no, you were clearly not even looking in the same direction, because no amount of good perception will allow you to see behind you. Yeah.
So, rabbit perception is hearing and smelling as well.
Yes, yes. Which is why I gave a scent this time round as well.
Yes.
So, Farewell. Cora, that's what you get from me. What are you doing?
I will.
Running around the room, shouting her name.
I will excuse myself from my new friend, and I will try and intercept the charging, still slightly flaming, at least at the start, halfling, from going insane.
Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You're on fire! Whoa!
I saw her. She was here. She was here. She's still alive. Did you see her? I don't know where she went.
I saw something. I don't know if it was her. I mean, there was somebody here, but I don't know if it was her. I mean, I don't want you to get your hopes up. I mean, we've had a lot to drink in a really short period of time. Just calm. I mean, I'm more worried about the fact that you've gone from beating somebody up for no reason to charging around the room screaming somebody's name. I think you need to sit down. And water.
I'm gonna plunk myself right on the floor wherever I am.
Sure.
Quick question, just as a reminder, this is happening inside the quote-unquote tavern because it barely resembles a tavern anymore, or is this happening outside?
This is in the Trash Tavern, where I believe Aiden last session picked up a bottle of wine and walked outside.
Yeah,
I think he's in the corner. Wasn't you in the corner? Like.
Oh yeah, I was
down?
I was in a corner,
Yep.
but I feel that after trying to take Cora away from beating the guy with his own beer stein, I'm going to just go outside. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to be sure where this was happening because I wasn't sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I think, yeah, we were inside.
You pick a hell of a time to take me literally. You know, just now. Just of all times. And
Cora's not really paying attention, or at least not looking at Farewell at this point. She's just kind of staring off into space.
A large tankard with an apple-smelling liquid in it gets thumped down on the floor next to Cora, and the Goliath that she launched herself at her knee last session walks past and says, "Have another drink, it'll be fine," and just walks out of the tavern.
Thank you. And I'm going to reach over and I'm just going to put it on the opposite side of me. I'm just not going to help. Let's start at the beginning. What did you actually see?
I don't know, I was kind of going crazy, and I just saw her face. I saw her, and I saw, as I jumped, I saw a golden red cloth, and then they were both gone.
Orange eyes.
Did I see that, Simon?
No, you didn't.
You didn't describe that I saw the patron person. I just saw
You did not see the kind of African woman.
Yeah. No.
Then I don't think we saw the same thing. There was something there. Somebody.
Wait.
All right.
Orange. I've
Shaven
seen
head.
her before at the ball.
Oh. I remember you saying.
Kate, take a inspiration.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well done remembering.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's like, actually, I have that written down in my notes.
Yeah, totally. Look at my notes. Look at them all. Ah.
I'm also
Yeah,
surprised Simon remembered to give out inspiration.
He's very
I will
generous.
just now need to remember to use it, which is
Yes.
never just like our finesse points.
I mean, I wrote one whole note last session, which was Hefnir, Grey Bear, Barbarian. Gay Bear!
Yeah.
That's what it's gay bear. It says gay bear. I can read my own writing.
Yeah.
Can
there was a
you?
gay bear. I don't remember that episode.
No, I was about to say, I don't remember that happening, but anyway.
I love it, the fact that she
I-
wrote down notes and then couldn't read them.
That's the sort of notes that we'll write. Like
They're so encrypted that not even the person who wrote them can read them themselves.
secret notes.
There's some of my coworkers writing who are quite neat, but I can't read for the life of me.
Anyway,
I'm gonna message Enola, or just not Enola, the Awen, and ask her if that was her. Was that her? Was she here?
You get no message from Eowyn.
Do I see Awen?
You send out your senses because you can sense Eowyn when she's near. Eowyn is not on this plane of existence.
Ooh.
are you okay? You look
Okay.
confused.
Awen's gone.
Do we mean gone?
I don't know. I can't sense that she's not here. She's never left
Okay.
before.
This is going to give you the mother of all headaches, but I think you and I need clear heads. And I will place a hand on her head and a hand on mine. And I will shaking, going, oh, this sucks so much. And I'll cast Lesser Restoration on both of them.
Oh, you're Crowley and Aziraphale yourself.
Yes!
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
You're
it.
stubborning up.
We have gone from plastered to sober in about 12 seconds.
It's a disturbing process, Cora, and suddenly everything, your discombobulation, your blurred speech, and blurry eyes as well, your senses and things, just suddenly crisp up. It's like somebody has removed a curse from you, and you are perfectly sober, absolutely stone cold sober. And considering your current state of mind, it might not be for the best, but you suddenly remember as the alcohol leaves your body that you can call Cora, your Cora, you can call Eowyn to your side as part of your bond with her.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try and do that.
Farewell getting rid of the curse of alcohol.
The one who would
We
use
should try that
on
on
every
Iron
single time.
Oh, that was terrible.
Solve that.
Sorry, I'm just laughing
do
at
I
Nick's
manage to-
character sobering up.
I know.
Like 90% water, how can I be dehydrated?
Did it leave you with a hangover? Surely yours a hangover as well, right?
No, it just removes poison. It doesn't remove any of the negative effects therefore associated post a night of drinking.
Yeah, it means you're not
Oh,
drunk,
brilliant.
but neither are you. So he's taking you straight to hangover.
Yeah, you are now officially hanging out your ass.
I love the fact that it's a dehydrated water genasi. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
It's like a prune.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you shrink
Prune
down
aside.
like these Orbeez? You know, the Orbeez that swell up. You know,
he looks like the kid that wears his dad's clothes.
you're actually
Everything
size
looks
small
like
now. You're
two
the same
sizes.
size as Cora.
I imagine him looking as how SpongeBob looks dehydrated in that one episode.
Oh yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Okay, so Yeah, Cora, you call you call Eowyn to your side, and as you do so, she appears on the floor right next to you, and she goes, "And another thing, you are going to run her ragged. She can't." Oh,
Hey,
Hello.
you
hey,
went away.
yeah, I did.
Okay.
I had to
Uh,
tell off
from
some
what you just said, I'm
insecure.
gonna take it that she was here, right?
You
I
know
saw
what?
her.
I can't
Well,
say.
Farewell saw her.
I'm glad you saw what you saw, but I can't say still.
No, I know.
She's kind of rearranging her clothing and kind of that whole kind of post huff. I'm not in a huff kind of thing. And she's doing very much a kind of Tinkerbell impression of stamping the floor, pacing, and she does that for paces back and forward like a few times, and then she leaps up in the air, flies right up to you, kisses you on the cheek, and kind of hugs your ear. It's a bit of an awkward hug because she's so small, and she says, as she hugs your ear, she goes, "I'm so sorry."
That's okay. I saw Enola. Was that
Yeah.
a vision? Was that real?
She said yes.
Yeah, she said, "Yeah." That hardly tells you anything.
Yeah.
That was more. Oh, dear.
You know what? You know what? And she kind of, you can see she's tripping over her words. That when she tries to get something out, she realizes she can't say it, and so she kind of backs up and tries something else. She goes, "Some people, you know the thing about some people can be really bloody inconsiderate. That's what they are. They're inconsiderate. Now, sometimes people have obligations and have to do
Don't worry.
difficult
Stop it.
things.
Stop.
And when they
Stop
do
it.
difficult things,
What?
they have reasons why they have to do them, and maybe they don't have a choice. But what they do when they do these things, they have to be responsible and know that if they, there are no words.
Doesn't matter.
Some people should bloody think. And she sits down on in a huff on your shoulder.
I
Do you want to?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Let's.
and-
Do you mind if I come?
No, come. I don't. Don't. Yeah. Whatever you want to do. You don't have to babysit me, but I'd appreciate it.
Please babysit me.
All I'll say is, remember the night that I fell in the canal. That's all I'm going to say. Wasn't I glad that you were there then? Because it took me an hour and a half to get out. So,
You're a really good swimmer too. I still don't really. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Some water was not meant
yeah.
to be breathed in.
Mhm.
Canal water is
Did
amongst
not
that.
taste. Didn't taste nice.
No.
Let's find something more distracting that doesn't involve fighting or drinking.
Probably gonna be difficult around here unless you want to.
There's a time for that.
I mean, not with me. That would be weird. Okay.
That would be
anyway,
really
here,
weird. And he just kind of turns like that really weird color he does when he blushes, and we'll just like walk, we'll just carry on walking. It's just like I'm not sure.
Lovely
what to
plum
do.
colour to his cheeks, yeah. You step out of the tavern into the night, and one thing you do hear, and there's quite a lot of people singing it, they're singing old songs, old folk songs. They don't seem to be as drunk as everybody else around. It seems to be in a direction where you hear less fighting and more remembering. Yes, you look over there, you see that these are the older fighters. You can see a lot of beards and salt and pepper hair. You can see people who are just looking into the fire and singing in this low, somber tone. Other people nearby, similar ages, are sat around talking, more quiet, more respectful. If you wanted to get away from this hustle and bustle, from the playful rage that's all around you, then maybe that could be the direction that you might want to go in. One of many.
Kind of forgot this was a funeral.
Yeah. Not the weirdest I've been to, but definitely one of the more energetic. They certainly did care for it. It's
Yeah,
always good
yeah.
to see. Never forgotten, at least that way. So, which direction do you want our adventure to take? It'd be nice to pick for once.
I don't know. We're on our way to potentially lose our memories again and start all over again.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Strange how it was just that period, you know. It's the one thing I can never quite get over. It was just so specific.
I know. Like, it wasn't the fact that it was a week and then we left and then 2 weeks on the road and stuff. Is like, why that week? We already pretty much figured out what we did that week. It didn't seem particularly something that we shouldn't remember.
Yeah. But yet, out it went. But why not the last 3 or so months? Why not years? Why not
Yeah.
turn us all into strangers and dump us in the middle of the thing? It just doesn't make sense.
Nick, take a point of inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
I'm currently drunk in front of another tabaxi.
Yeah.
I can't do things to give myself inspiration. I'm like, I get it.
You might. You never know.
You never know.
You can do so much.
I'm going to give him head
advantage of
boots.
the thing.
Smack.
I will headbutt you as cats do.
We come back into the tavern and like Eclipse has killed everybody because she's just gone on a drunken one cat rampage.
Yeah.
Yeah, lash knife
Oh, dear.
dancing, definitely not a thing to do.
Yeah, that last night has a fuckload of range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like ribbon dancing, but with a lash knife.
Oh god.
Yes.
That sounds
Maybe
so
if I
fun.
knock over this, she will like me more.
Yes.
Oh god, is that how tabaxi? Oh god, is that how tabaxi flirt with each
Flirt,
other and impress
yes.
each other just by pushing
Yeah.
things off tables at each other?
Yeah.
Fucking know you like it.
God. Oh, that's awful.
Oh god. Just a bunch of pissed off warriors as you're just going around pushing tankards off tables.
What I will do, Simon, is I will reach down, I will get a handful of dirt, and I'll go, maybe we just leave this one to the gods. And I will hold it up and just go, and whatever direction the wind takes it is the one that I will suggest that we go.
Okay. Sure. I'm not going to say it leads anywhere in particular. It leads into the wider camp where you will hear and see many things. There's people celebrating in their own way, everything from hugely raucous to competitions of skill to gambling and games of chance. Everybody here is letting their hair down in their own personal way. So, speaking of our tabaxi, let's go to her. You took on some of the drink before. You're
Yes.
somewhat
failed my
schnockered.
to say. Yes.
I did write down before to remind myself that you failed your saving throw against the alcohol.
Yes. Yes. I'm quite drunk.
And
Right.
we left you off dancing, if you can call it dancing, with
Drunken stumbling.
with a tall striped tabaxi male. I would like you to do a performance check, because, hey, we gotta have those from time to time. Do me a performance check with disadvantage.
I just watched the Return of the Cats. So
Yeah.
Oh, it can't be any. There's no way that Curring is going to ever roll as bad to produce something like that Cats trailer.
It's kind of amazing.
better than I
though.
thought. I was not sure what it was going to be like, but you know, for turning that show into a musical on film, it doesn't look too shabby, to be honest.
All I can say is hands.
6.
Yes, this is the fucking content I subscribe for.
But you pay us nothing.
So
I pay you with time.
I do have a gift that I'm gonna find that is Eclipse dancing.
Wait, I'm
While Simon
already
is
on
going-
it.
So, you think, Eclipse, that you are the best. You are the bestest dancer there ever was. You're strutting your stuff in front of this tabaxi, and you're thinking, yeah, look at me, I am the very definition of a dex score. I'm going to just sort out your camera here, because I can only see part of your head.
Yes, you put my camera very small.
Yeah, there we go.
And you're
Let's-
sitting.
There we go. So, you think that you are doing awesome. You are doing not awesome. However, after bouncing off several dwarfs, which you are explaining away as part of the move, the 3 dwarf shuffle.
There's just so many dancing cat gifts. There's so many dancing cat gifts.
I have a feeling we're about to be inundated. Yeah, you think you're doing really, really well, and every now and again you kind of... If finger guns had a look without actually doing finger guns, you'd be doing it to this other tabaxi. This tabaxi, you're thinking, is doing okay, when in reality, he's slick as fuck. He's wearing a beautiful piece of dueling half plate. So the half plate covers the left-hand side of his body. He favours the right-hand side for dueling. You can see that he's got a rapier at his hip, and the left-hand side of him has this beautiful, I'd say, half plate. It's actually plate mail, and it's perfectly shined. It's shining as bright as platinum, I guess. A beautiful, almost impossibly white metal. You can see that some people have got some silver trinkets on them nearby, and those silver trinkets look grey in comparison. Do me a perception check with disadvantage. And this time, you can't use your passive perception. It's the one time when you can't.
Again, that's an amazing. I think it's 5.
5?
Let me double
Okay.
check. I let me double check. Yes, it's a 5.
It's
Of
a
all the
shiny metal. It is the shiny, shiny metal. So,
Shiny.
you're watching him dance, and he's okay. He's doing all right. He's not as cool as you, but he's doing all right. In fact, you can hear people complimenting you. Oh, it's all gone weird.
I did totally not click the wrong button there. You
Okay,
saw
okay,
nothing.
good to know. Yep,
I
you
was
saw nothing.
always here.
Yep.
Oh my god, Nick.
And you think that some people are cheering you on, Eclipse, when in fact they are complaining about the fact you're bumping into them. So,
Oh god, Eclipse is that person. We've all been in the club with that one person that's way too drunk and like just completely keeps knocking you, and you're like, mate, knock it off.
the
My
tabaxi...
camera is a bit too slow, but yes.
Yeah, you're
I
just
am not
blurring
impressing
now.
this guy at all.
And then, clearly impressing the pants off this guy. Well, not quite yet, but, clearly impressing him.
Getting
The
there.
tabaxi stops dancing, walks up to you, and says, "Come with me."
Ooh, I go with them.
She's gonna get herself killed again.
I'm not there to look after her.
Yep.
I've already got my hands full.
And he takes you outside. I would like you to do a Constitution saving throw, no disadvantage, as the cold air hits you, because there's a certain thing that happens when cold air hits you after you've had this much to drink. Go for it.
I haven't drunk enough to know what that is.
Pew, 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 pew,
Ooh,
pew.
that's actually pretty good. Let me
You say
see.
that.
Yes, because that is a 16.
At 16, yeah, you managed to hold it down. There's a little bit of a whoo, okay, the world's spinning. That's kind of fresh. And he takes you outside and kind of points to a couple of barrels and kind of, he's a bit of a gentleman. He kind of, puts the rearranges the barrel slightly and helps you to sit down as well, which you absolutely did not need. But, you want to make him feel like he's being a gentleman and all the rest of it, so you let him. And he says, "I presume you're on your journey."
Yes, yes, I am. I assume you are as well.
Indeed. Well, my journey, my purpose, it coincides with being able to work with the types of people that you see around you. I've taken to the mercenary life. And I see that you're walking around, and with such exotic weaponry as well. I presume that you're some kind of mercenary or outrider, or you've signed up with some faction.
Yes, so I used to work more contract based than I do now. So I used to work within Ostergaard, doing contracts of different kinds, mainly just things with the mercenary guild, I think. Out of character, I think there was a mercenary guild.
Yes.
You're in a bounty hunters guild, basically.
Yeah.
It's the Ostergald. It's kind of the Ostergald's. It's kind of a bail bonds kind of organization that you're part of. They don't really have much in the way of a name. It's just a pub that these guys go to get these contracts.
Yeah. But I recently signed up with an organization called the Green Organization, and it's helping me with my goal of finding the heart of Jordan. So.
The heart of Juradan? You mean the Lion Lord?
Yes, it's what I want to find, and I want to bring it back to Ostron.
Your journey is to find something that belonged to Juradan and bring it back home.
Yes.
You're going to be traveling for some time. Wow, that's oddly specific for a journey. I mean, people normally leave and they try to find. They normally try to find like the best song, or to come back rich, or to find the biggest jewel they can find. You've gone for a very specific artifact there. Are you some kind of archaeologist, historian?
Not really. I just enjoy finding things. I always find like puzzles and stuff, and this seems like the biggest puzzle I could find.
You're finding what effectively is his holy artifact. Because you like puzzles.
Yes.
Okay. You're
And also
very...
the history of also the history of Jordan is really interesting, and I want to find out more about it.
Okay,
Mainly because
that's
I
at
like
least I can
Marvel.
sign on to. Yes, Jordan. I remember being told the stories when I was a child, but yeah, I have to admit it's not my thing. My journey is a little more, well, I guess bizarre.
What's your journey? If you thought my journey was bizarre, then how is your journey bizarre?
I thought your journey was ambitious. I didn't say it was bizarre. I mean, it makes sense at least.
So what's
I
your journey then?
Well, you see, I have a peculiar gift. I can detect the uh, I can detect where the walls between the planes are thinnest, and when there are ruptures between the two worlds. And
Ooh.
I attempt to find them and go through them, and I like to take souvenirs.
So how many times? Much do I know about other planes other than the prime material plane, Simon?
You are proficient in Arcana, I believe.
No, I'm proficient in history though. Oh no,
Uh,
I'm not. I lie. I thought
what are you proficient in? And
I'm
I'll tell you what you know about.
I am proficient in acrobatics, deception, insight, investigation, perception, persuasion, sleight of hand, and I do have though a +2 as a general thing to my history and arcana, as I do have an intelligence of 14.
Okay, so you don't know a great deal about the other planes of existence. That I'll tell you
But
for nothing. You have heard that they exist. You've heard
yes,
that.
that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, you've heard that they exist. So this is no news to you. You know that there's other planes, and there's. You know that there's the elemental planes because you've heard of elementals. You've heard of the, let's see, astral sea. You would have heard of because everybody's heard of the astral sea. It's where the gods are. If you've ever stepped into a church, you probably would have heard of it. Then
The Feywild?
yes, because of all the stories coming from the Feywild, you would have heard the Feywild as well. After that, the Underdark you would have heard of in newspapers. And I think that's about it. The Shadowfell, unless you spent some time in a Raven Queen temple, you wouldn't have heard the word Shadowfell mentioned very much, because it's one of those things they don't want the populace to say.
I've heard of it. Simon, I think we did a check, and you said I've heard of it in passing, and I knew it was vaguely death-related.
Actually, yes. When you attacked the flesh golem, you're quite right. We said that you had heard it in passing. So yes, you do know it exists.
Yeah.
So he says, yes. So I go and I get trinkets, trophies. I'm a hunter, and he puts his hand into his pocket, pulls out a gem, and the gem is glowing slightly. It's about the size of a softball, and it's a red gem, and it's glowing very softly. He says, this gem, for example, would conjure a fire elemental that I could control with my mind if I focus on it enough.
That's very, very cool. Which planes of existence have you been to?
I have been to the fire plane, and I've been to the earth plane currently. But there is one place that I'm looking to go to. But
What is that?
I don't know. And it's driving me insane. And he says it loud enough that some people turn around to look at you, and then he kind of glares at them, and they carry on with their business.
Wait, just two cats talking to each other. Go away.
There's this place, and it is nearby. This is why I'm here. I did not come specifically for the funeral. I was already around here. And
Did you know this guy? We kind of just stumbled into here, and then they
Marcos,
invited us
yes,
into
yes.
the funeral.
And anybody who lived around here knows about Marcos. He was such a humble man, you know. Um, but he was a
What
natural.
is your name, by the way? You haven't told me your name.
Oh, hi. Of course. And I do not know yours. I'm Raul.
Raul.
Yes, Raul. And you are?
I am Eclipse. Eclipse of Noon, but Eclipse.
Ah, you've got a traditional name. I was named by my adoptive father. He was a halfling.
Oh, that explains your name. I was about to ask.
I've tried various names. I tried to have a true Tabaxi name, but every time I would say it, it would seem like I was being trying too hard to be impressive. Yes.
Well, on the top of my head, Hunter.
He looks at you as if to say, "Hang on, all Tabaxis are hunters." He said, "Well, I was going to call myself Walker of Worlds, but that just seems like it's almost like a god or a demon or something like that. You know, Walker of Worlds." And yeah, it just didn't seem to fit for me. But anyway, this thing that is driving me nuts, it is around here somewhere. But the problem is, it only opens up sometimes. So I will get this sudden feeling that a gate has opened nearby, and I try to find it, and so I start to walk around, try to get an idea of where the direction is, because I don't quite get a direction. I know when I'm going closer and further away, so I walk around a lot like I'm lost, and then as soon as I get just a little bit closer to it, it disappears. And so I've been, for the last few months, just getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I'm here now, but I know it is not here. It is south of here. So I have a marker that I will return to and wait until the damn thing opens up again. Yeah? Now, this is the interesting thing and the infuriating thing. I think that someone is playing with me. Because I go to this place. I go as close as I can to this place. And when I get really close, yeah, and I'm there, I'm on the coastal road, I'm looking back and forth for this thing, and I suddenly, I lay down my marker, and I have to go off and do a job, yeah, because, you know, I have to pay the bills. Well, not really, I don't really pay any rent, but I have to eat, yeah. So I go to do this job. And when I'm on this job, suddenly, and this was 4 days ago, there's this huge sensation that I get. Like this gate has been opened up so wide, it's going to swallow a mountain. And then nothing.
That
For
is
about
very strange.
10 minutes, maybe? This thing is open, and I feel like it is boring a hole in my head, and then it disappears completely. And I hear nothing. Absolutely nothing. Since.
You're entirely sure this is not a coincidence and it is the thing messing with you?
Well, it seems like it's messing with me. You know, every time I get a little bit closer, it stops again. And it happens at random times throughout the day, which could suggest that it is like a Fedor, but I can tell a Fedor even when it's closed, because a Fedor is still a Fedor when it's closed, yes? This thing is like it appears and it exists, and then it doesn't exist. And then 6 hours later, it does exist, and then 2 days later, it exists again. Yeah? But now, I feel like it's gone. You know? And that worries me. Because I don't want to be the guy who spent 4 fucking months trying to find a gate that has now moved somewhere else in the plains.
So you're sure that it's not as you said, a Fey door that leads to the Feywild.
No, because I would still know where it is. I just know it was shut. You know, these Fey doors, they're easy. I must admit I have not gone yet. Last time I tried to go to the Feywild. It was, let us say, it did not turn out well. But the Fey doors, you just have to, if you know where they are, you just have to know how to go through them. You know, turn thrice widdershins or something like that. In this case, I don't know. Anyway, me talking to you, you seem to be getting slightly more sober. And you do notice that being out here in the fresh air, you're starting to sober up somewhat.
Not just me forgetting to roleplay that I'm drunk, because I forget how drunk people
Well,
are.
conveniently, this is one of the reasons he's getting you talking, because he wants you to not make it so much of a fool of yourself. So, how long have you been on your journey?
I've been for quite a few years now. 4?
4 years.
3. Come out to 4. It's 4 years.
2 years, 3 months. So that's why I'm a little bit impatient. Is that at least I was always getting some progress with the other places. As I say, I'm going to do the Feywild at some point. I know where there's some doors, but yeah, mostly I like hunting the things that come out of the doors. So when it came to the Feywild, there was this magnificent beast, this gigantic elk that came out of the thing, and it had these patterns all over it. And as I say, I tried to hunt it down, but it did not end well. I was a fool.
What happened, if I may ask?
It wasn't an elk. It was a Fey.
Oh, yes, that would explain the patterns on it. That would explain.
Yeah. He has put me under, I guess.
Oh, right. So you can't talk to it.
Oh, no, I can talk about it, and I can tell you how much of an idiot I am. I cannot speak his name, and I cannot enter the Feywild until I have completed a task.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can you say what the task is? Or...
I can, but I would rather not.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
It's kind of embarrassing. Let's just say that he had a strange sense of humor.
Right. So where in Australia are you from?
Oh, I am from the Nauru territories like yourself. Yes. But my parents, they were coastal, and they got attacked by Revels, and they were killed. And Albert, my adoptive father, he was an alchemist in the village, and he saw me, little whiskered baby, crying, and he snatched me up and ran, and he's been raising me ever since.
Right. So does he live in the Australia as well, or does he live somewhere else?
He lives in the Nauru territory. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you do know this, to get out of this character for a second. You do know that the Nauru territory from Austron, where you come from, that it is heavy in tabaxi, but there are other people that live there. It's just just the proportion that's changed, so that it's in favour of the tabaxi. And if I bring up, where is it? World map, where is it? Where is it? No, not that one. I appear to have got rid of one of my maps. But for the viewers, Austron is a large island that is off the coast. It's about 3 or 4 days sail from Vardencourt, and that's why Corinne's character is here in South Vardencourt. She's gone to the nearest main landmass and started her journey, because Tabaxi especially the Naru, the Tabaxi Naru tribe, have a kind of wanderlust. They like to travel, and they all are compelled at some point in their lives to travel for some purpose. So,
Yes.
tell me, what are
Have
you all
met any
doing?
other- Sorry?
You and your party, what are they here for? What are they doing?
We are trying to retrace our steps. See, we went around this area before, but somehow we ended up back in Ostergald with 3 weeks of memory missing, which we're now trying to figure out how that.
How very strange. And you're from Ostergald. Good
That is
information to know. But you lost
I
your
think so.
memories. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Well, maybe you can speak to
Insight
some.
check.
You're too drunk
Sure.
for inside check.
Yeah, do it. Do an
I
insight check.
propose we start a drinking game about Eclipse telling people, or only people, but complete strangers, things that she should probably not be telling.
Whenever you hear
Indeed.
the heart of Juradan drink.
Yep.
Take a
I'm
sip
looking-
every time.
Oh,
Take a sip every time she mentions information to a stranger. Finish your whole drink if it involves the heart of Jordan.
Yep.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only
Or
everybody
she
suddenly
told
has
someone
that.
there was assassin after her. That's another one.
Everyone suddenly feels a sharp pain in the back of the head. They know this pain to only be someone's mentioned Juradan.
Yeah.
Eclipse is
Okay.
talking about things he shouldn't be.
Siren.
Okay. What's your
15.
15? He does seem very interested in you, and he seems very pleased to know this information. And from what you've seen so far, his quote that he's a hunter, and he's a hunter from various planes of existence is also true. And he seems very genuine when he turns around to you and he says, well, if you wish to regain your memories, maybe as you pass through here, you may be stopped at this tavern. Maybe speak to the owner of the tavern. And also, if you wish, I can introduce you to some of the local mercenary bands who normally call this tavern home.
I mean, that would be very helpful at some point after everybody is a bit more sober, I think. But yes.
I would recommend tomorrow morning. They might not be in the best condition, but they will not take umbrage at you ruining their fun or interrupting their fun.
Yes, that's what I meant. Have you met any other tabaxi on your journey?
Oh, one or two, but most of them they have less interesting stories than you yourself have. I met a trader, I met a priest, and I met a bard. So yeah, one was trying to come back with lots of stories, typical kind of traveling compulsion, and the priest was trying to find. Well, not so much trying to find God, because he knows all the gods, but trying to decide which god he is to connect with. I have money down on Evandra.
Avandra is a very common god for us, Naru.
Yes, this is very true.
I do prefer her favor as well. I also really do prefer the favor of Ayun as well.
Sure.
Traitor.
He seems to wrinkle his nose at Ayun, but he says, each to their own, I say. Anyway.
The entertainer, then the story person you met, their name didn't happen to be Smoke.
You cut out there, what did you say?
The name of the one of the taxis I met, that was the store person, entertainer type person. Their name didn't happen to be Smoke, did they?
No.
Smoke.
No.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know
Never mind that.
Do you know a bard called Smoke?
It's my. Um.
Your sister.
Yes.
So you have a sister who is called Smoke. Okay. Yeah. It's yeah. It's nice. It's nice that, and I presume that she's wandering as well. Yes.
Yes. Yes. She is.
Oh. Very well. Very well. It's good to know. It's good to know. Right. Well, my tent is over in that direction. You cannot miss it. It is a red tent, and it has it's fake gold, but it's got gold edging and 2 gold tassels that I ripped from somebody's curtains on the top. When you're ready to...
How do you prevent yourself from cutting the tassels away?
Who said I did?
Well, I'm clearly not grown up enough for this conversation. I mean, we're into batting tassels already. I'm just dying.
I'm off to read and to sleep. I have been searching for this gate for most of the day. When you're ready.
So you're not looking to have. So you're planning on retiring to. You're planning to retire, yes, for tonight.
Yes. I shall be at my tent when you and your friends wish to attempt to repiece your memories tomorrow. You know where to go. I shall be there.
Yes. Unless they decide that we should go, but I will try to let you know.
Either way, you know where I am, you know my name, and you know who to ask. They all know me around here. I will be here somewhere. I'm no more than a day's ride away from this place. Good night, Eclipse of the Moon.
Good night, Raoul.
And he kind of, with a little bit of a snort, probably not a cruel snort, but a little bit of a snort of amusement, he stands up and walks off.
He did not want to flirt with me.
He wasn't. He just told you where his tent was and that he likes to battle tassels, girl. I mean, what are you looking for? A big fucking neon sign that says "Get in there."
Yes.
Yeah, some people are subtle, put it that way. Right.
Yes. Yeah, she might make her way there before morning, depending how things go.
How much more she drinks, in other words.
So, Aiden, for you, you're outside, you're drinking, you do see Farewell and Cora leave, you see Eclipse absolutely shit-faced being taken off to one side to vomit and or sober up by another tabaxi.
Right.
And yeah, so you do see this kind of thing going on. Is there anything in particular that you're going to do? If not, I have something that can happen to you.
Well, right now I'm drinking, but it's
Are you
been
gonna
a
save
very
Eclipse? Are you gonna save Eclipse?
it's been a very stressful few days, so I'm drinking harder than usual, to the point that I almost choke on the wine and they ended up coughing it out.
Oh.
And even though I haven't finished my bottle, I just fucking throw it away. I am in a very bad place right now. And I'm just spitting out the wine, just getting rid of it, and I'm just doing that.
As you do that, there's a voice behind you, and the voice says, "Just as well. You die eating that crap."
What do you want?
You look around, and quite a lithe female dwarf is just sat on a fence post. She's barefoot, wearing no armor. She's just wearing flannel pants and a kind of cotton shirt. And she has a bottle, an earthenware bottle that she's got the stopper out of. And there's a kind of sweet smell coming from her direction. And she takes a slug of it and she goes, "If you want some of the real stuff, this will keep you warm at night."
Alright.
And she offers it to you.
I take it.
Okay.
Take a swig.
You take a swig, and it is quite clearly alcoholic. It's subtle. It's sweet. It's fragrant as well. And this is some sort of honey mead. And the mead is made clearly from really good honey because it has almost a floral aftertaste. It's really lovely. It's like drinking a dessert. And yeah, you get that little rosy glow afterwards from having a pull on it. And you hand it back and she goes, "Told you. Good stuff, eh?"
I guess. Better than wine, at least.
Aye. I've never been good at the whole kind of wine thing. We tend to have the really dark red or black stuff. Have you ever drunk black wine? No, of course you haven't. Don't bother with the black wine. It's a dwarven delicacy, which means it tastes of fucking mold.
Right.
So, you're out here, sat on your own, with a face like a slapped ass, drinking piss-poor wine.
Yes, I guess I am.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've seen quite a few of lads like you over the years. And, you know, she says over the years, but you look at her and you go, "You look like you're the same age as me."
Right. I just take her word for it. Fuck it.
Sure. And she says, "You know what? I kind of nearly went that direction, you know. Just losing myself in a bottle, just whatever made me feel a little bit more human, you know? And I've seen guys who are
Right.
like running away from shit and internalizing your self-loathing and all the rest of it. But ultimately, there's only one thing in the world that you're going to regret, and that's lost time, you know? You can lose a
Right.
hell of a lot of time at the bottom of a bottle. What is it that drives you? What are you interested in? What makes you tick?
Sorry, my internet shut the bed for a moment. What
That's
happened?
fine. She says, "So, what is it that drives you? What is it that makes you tick?"
What drives me as in drink?
Nah. Drink doesn't drive someone. Life drives people to drink. It's the result. It's not the drive. What are you interested in? What do you want to look back on at the moment of your death and say, "Well, at least I fucking did that"?
I don't know. Honestly, right now, kind of wish for some peace more than anything, but also I kind of if I ever die, I just want to look back and say, yeah, at least I did something good. At the very least.
Ah, the something good. Well, it's always hard to detect what that is. And she kind of does a weird jump, and currently she's standing on top of this fence post, and she does a backflip
Nice.
off it, landing perfectly
okay,
on
nice.
the ground. And she walks up to you and she says, "I've been with a number of different bands now. And, you know, you think you're helping someone, you go and you say, you know, you go to some guy and he says that his business is suffering because, you know, goblins are making away with his stuff. And then you go out there and you kick the shit out of the goblins, and then you realize he's actually expanded into their territory that their family has owned for, like, well, I say owned, they've just been living there, don't exactly have deeds, they're goblins. And they've been living there, minding their own fucking business for the last 200 years. And just because this guy wants a few extra trees, he starts kind of lopping down the forest that's kept them safe. So they start nicking stuff, and it turns out the things that they've been nicking is like felling axes and shit, because they don't want you to, they don't want you to knock down their home, right? So you think you're helping someone, and it turns out you're actually just fucking up somebody else's day. So there's something good. I get it. But it's not always plain to see,
I understand.
And I guess that's where I'm at the moment. The one thing that I wanted to die knowing that I had achieved not perfection, but the best that I'm ever going to get, And you see as she she's looking at her arms, she looks down at her body, and as I say, she's athletic. The stereotypical dwarf with the rotund belly and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a thin, lithe dwarf. Stocky, yeah. High muscle mass, certainly. Broad-shouldered, still a lot of the body proportions, but she can move. And because normally dwarves are normally covered in plate mail or chain mail or whatever with helmets and shit for your average fighter, largely because it's a very successful arrangement of armor when you're underground. You can see that she's kind of she looks very, very different. And she says, "That's all I've honed. I've honed my mind, my body, and I have a wee drink every now and again, a little to take the edge off. But trying to find that purpose. It's always been something that's fucked with me. I mean, most of these guys here, they're quite happy just to make their paycheck, And for many of them, that is their achievement. I mean, most of these people here, and don't get me wrong, I love them. I'm not judging them here. I'm talking about them, but I'm not judging them. These here, they come from villages where the average person would be just, they'd be protecting their crops and just getting through day to day, making sure that they've got food, making sure that they store up enough to outlast the winter, to make sure that they've got a little bit saved by just in case one of them gets ill and they need to go and get a remedy. Basic stuff. So these guys here, they're achieving the thing they want to do before they die, because this is the life that they want to achieve. They have broken the mold. They are something different, something new, something better in their mind. Yeah, and good on them.
Yeah.
Many of them, they heard the words of Cord, and they are now living the life of a warrior, protecting others. It's noble. But it's each to their own. And that's the thing. Just make sure you're doing your own thing, mate. She passes you the honey mead again, and she sat down. She's not overly trying to be... she's not trying to force friendship on you or anything like that. She just decided to have a chat with you.
I asked for a little bit more of the mead. Take a swig, hand it back, and I say, I don't even know what my own thing is anymore. I just been running away for as long as I can remember, and that's fucking worked out wonderfully.
No, I get it. I wasn't running away from anything, but I was certainly running too. I just didn't know what I was running at, so I was running around all over the place like an idiot. I kind of got some ideas now of my own. But if you're running from something, that's a purpose in and of itself. In the same way that, love and hate are the same part of the... Well, they're two ends of a different spectrum. If you're running away from something, maybe that points to what you should be going towards. Or at least give a clue.
I guess you're right. Also, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Lana. Pleasure to meet you. And she puts out her hand to shake your hand.
I shake her hand. Aiden.
Good to meet you, Aiden. You don't sound like you're from here.
No, I guess I'm not. Guess I'm not.
Ah, so you're not from Ostermark lands. Where'd you hear from?
Verstaat?
Verstaat. Bloody hell.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize I was sitting with a badass here. Isn't it that everybody in Verstaat has killed at least one zombie?
Badass is subjective, but I guess you could say that.
A modest badass, then. Ah, bloody hell.
His creepy eyes were just undead around.
Well, I'm Meridian. I've been travelling for some time, but I'm Meridian. I'm from the Greyhelm lands.
Right.
The Greyhelms are okay. A little too sensible, if you ask me. You know, I kind of wish I was born a Blackforge. Those buggers know how to get things done.
Guess so.
But I don't mind. I don't mind. Nah. Just, yeah. I'd say stand up and follow your feet. Even in places like this. Granted, there'll be probably a ton of stuff that's going to piss you off because it's going to distract you from what you really want. And certainly if you want peace, there's very little peace and quiet around here. But, I don't know. Sometimes I find that I can lose myself in the white noise of it all, you know? I walk around and just hear the singing and all the rest of it. Just let it all kind of blur into one and just, I don't know, find your own peace. Carry it with you.
Right.
I know, easier said than done, and I'm probably talking all kind of guru out of my ass shit, but I'm just saying what's worked for me. I can be in the middle of a city, or I can be in the middle of a battle, and I just find that moment of peace, moment of clarity, moment of focus. You know?
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what's helped me. Maybe help you too. Just focus in that one moment on what do I want. And sometimes it's your gut that tells you. And she kind of grabs her stomach, and you realise that, you know, as I say, no rotund belly here. She kind of tries to grab her stomach like a dwarf would normally kind of grab their belly if they're in the middle of laughing or something. And she just puts her hand against her cotton shirt, and you can see she's fucking ripped under this shirt because she just puts her hand on what is clearly a fucking 8-pack.
Yeah. Fucking shred cheese on those.
Don't show it to Glory, because Glory will just be all over her.
Yeah, I go. Yeah, that advice does sound out of your ass. I'll still take it to heart then.
Thank you. As I say, just saying it as I see it. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure by the end of the night I'll be drinking and dancing, and I'll probably find someone decent to have a night with, if you get my meaning. But I find that there's...
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of Glory just suddenly going, somebody needs me.
My sense is tingling.
Glory looks to the sky, and it has... I was going to say the something symbol, but I can't think of the something that I want to say on stream, so...
Lesbians.
Yeah, like, to, genders,
Yeah.
Yeah, all the things I can think of are completely vulgar, so I'm not going to go there. But you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how you can connect around here. These people are good people. As I say, they go out and risk death to protect others. See what you can gain around here. Anyway, she kind of punches you on the shoulder a little and hands you the earthenware bottle and says, "Keep it. There's more where that came from." And she stands up and walks away.
And now I think it's time for a break.
It is.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay. So we will... Oh, I did not put the voting screen up today. I think we're just going to go RP for a change.
Yeah.
Rather than going for a finesse point. And so we're going to take a 10-minute break, guys. We will see you shortly after that. See you later.
Yeah. See ya.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to our players. I'll just bring your sound up as well. And when we left off,
Hello.
Aiden was having a little bit of a heart-to-heart with a random dwarven monk, apparently, that just turned up, offered him some hooch, got talking to him, and gave him some hooch. So, nice. And as Nick has said in the chat, Aiden made a friend.
He's such a great guy. He's learning. He's making friends. Being social. We are such good influences on him.
Right, so Rodrigo, is Aiden doing anything else?
No, I'm just drinking the honey mead.
Okay, do me a... you're not that drunk. Do me a regular perception check.
That is a 19.
19. Wow. Yeah. In that case, you notice you feel like you should have drunken to the bottom of this bottle by now.
Oh no. Oh
Oh!
no. Oh no.
Someone's got an endless.
An endless
dangerous
glass of
for a
a
person
beer.
Yes.
The honey mead
Alright.
seems to give you a bit of a glow, and it doesn't kind of improve your mood. I mean, it's not kind of magically affecting your mind, but it does.
It's not an antidepressant.
It feels, yeah, it's not not an antidepressant, but it's also, considering it's alcohol, it's not a depressant either. It's comforting. That's about the only sensation that I can equivalent it to. Is you feel comfortable. You feel a little calm. Now, it hasn't affected your mood, it hasn't affected your drives or anything like that, but it's just comfortable. It's like a nice blanket or a comfy chair. It just gives you that sensation when you drink it. Bit peculiar.
Alright.
Okay. So, he says with bated breath, Glory,
Yeah.
what are you up to, my dear?
Well, after Cora's scene, Glory will do a quick look around for something alcoholic that has preferably not been opened yet. I want a full bottle, not a half full one.
There are some people who are next to crates of unopened bottles or kegs of beer, and there are people going up to those people and they're handing them out. Presumably you can go up to a group if you wish.
Yes.
Okay, let me do a quick roll. Okay. A couple of half-elves are not exactly guarding, they're just sat next to what seem to be a bunch of crates, and inside the crates seem to be green bottles with white cork tops.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. As you walk up, they seem to be brother and sister. Look very similar to each other, and the brother, as you walk up, says, "Hail, friend. You seem to be empty-handed."
Simon, you cut off there.
Oh, you seem to be empty-handed.
Yes, unfortunately.
Well, we can't have that. He picks up one of the green bottles, hands it to you, and says, but you'll need something to drink it with. And he makes a gesture with his hand, and as he does so, a crystalline flute glass, a long glass, appears in his hand, and he hands it over to you.
Nice. Thank you.
You're entirely welcome. And he suddenly snaps his fingers, and a full glass appears in his hand, and he goes, "To Marcus. May the gods receive him well." He takes a drink from his glass and says, "So, how did you know the old wolf?"
Oh, just the tales, I'm afraid. I
Oh,
don't
so you
hail
heard
from
the
the region
tales.
myself.
Tell me, which of the tales did you hear?
Oh, unfortunately, mostly the tavern ones. How great he was, but humble.
Oh, so you
It
haven't
is.
heard any of the best stuff. Well, let me enlighten
No.
you. It is his funeral after all. Do you know, first of all, why they call him the Old Wolf?
No, I never got that one.
Because the first thing he fought and killed was a werewolf. He himself contracted
Ooh.
lycanthropy and was drinking for the rest of his life a serum that stopped the wolf taking over. It allowed him to have extra strength, extra healing, and he was able to harness some of the power towards the end as well. He would turn feral, but wouldn't go all the way to wolf. It's common
An
knowledge around here.
impressive feat.
It wasn't common knowledge when he was alive, but it's common knowledge around here.
I'm sorry. I'll have to talk to you later, but I need to find one of my friends.
Oh, of course. And as you're walking away, Glory, you can hear the sister turn round to the brother and go, "Ha ha! You struck out with a tiefling." And the brother just gets mocked by the sister as you walk away.
Please
I will.
later go for the sister.
I will head out the door, look around for my companions. I
Sure.
assume I see Farewell and Cora off to one side, Eclipse another way with that other one.
I would,
The other
for the sake of
Tabaxi.
argument, I'll say you keep looking until you find them.
And then I head over to Aiden.
Oh no.
This can only end well.
Oh, dear.
Yep, okay. So you go up to Aiden. Aiden doesn't seem to be that drunk, whereas Eclipse is getting better, but still a little squiffy. Because I love the word squiffy.
Hey, I thought you might need a new. It's unopened.
Oh, for the good times and now. I put a cork on the honey mead, if I have one, or I just put it away.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's got a stopper that's on like a leather thong.
Alright, so I just, put it in, put the thing away.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want?
Can I take a seat?
Sure, knock yourself out.
Right, I'll sit down next to him. It is fortunate that we ran across a, place like this. I wouldn't call it a tavern anymore.
It stopped being a tavern like 5 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it stands tomorrow.
It won't. Okay, spill it. What is it you want?
We need to talk. Yeah. I know you don't like me, and that is fine. We need to be able to work together.
You're right. I don't like you. But that's not that's not the issue. It's I don't trust you at all.
That's fair. I wouldn't trust me either.
Making a great argument for yourself here.
Most importantly, I think you're a threat.
Yeah, I suspected so. It, I'm new to this. We don't have friends back home, and to be honest, you you four are the closest I've ever been to real friends that that aren't family. Even if they're
Hey,
family, it's not like yeah.
Simon,
Mm-hmm.
can I roll insight on that?
You may.
Of course
So
you can.
so Aiden.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, Aiden roll insight. Glory. Don't tell us what you're rolling, but you roll either deception or persuasion based on whether you're telling the truth or telling a lie. If
Don't bother, it's a natural one.
okay, that still does something. It still does something. So when conversations like this, it goes one of two ways. So she's hard to read, but the other part of this is how she rolls. So let me tell you how it works.
Okay.
Glory, if you rolled deception and you beat him, which you automatically did, you turn around and say, "You believe me." If you if you manage to get a if your score and his score added together beat 10 and it's persuasion, you say, "You believe me." If your score in persuasion and his score don't get higher than 10, so you say hard to read. And if he beats your score in in deception, you say you reveal that you were lying.
Oh dear.
Okay, so that's kind of the thing. Maybe I should write a diagram, but I have a feeling
Yeah.
it is you believe me.
You believe me.
Sorry, my internet's shitting the bed again. I barely managed to hear all that.
That's
You
okay. I
believe
kind
what
of
Glory's saying.
yeah,
You
and I
believe
fucked up an
that.
explanation. So yeah, you believe Glory when she said what she said. I'll write
Yeah.
down the rules regarding PvP, insight, and deception.
Right. 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 Friends.
Yeah, friends.
As if you fucking care about anyone other than yourself.
Of course I care. It's just
What would
I
you think, everyone?
suppose you. I forget that you guys don't. It is. I I'm not supposed to show that I care because that's not how to. It's not what I'm supposed to do, but I do, and I suppose that's just what makes me weak.
Oh boy, having this,
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
having I didn't reassure you is not what you want.
No.
No, you don't want the guy who already publicly stated, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking kill you," to reassure you.
It, I know Farewell already suspect. I'm I'm not I'm not as stupid as I act. I'm not as oblivious as I may seem. It's just a mask. One that I have to use.
I mean, I never thought of you as stupid or oblivious. Matter of the fact, the moment I saw you, I thought you were extremely intelligent. What I think is that and you haven't really done anything to prove me otherwise. I think that if you were given the choice to kill anyone in this tavern to further your own goals, you would do it in a fucking heartbeat. And I haven't seen any evidence to prove me otherwise.
I'm, I suppose that's not wrong, but it's not right either. If the circumstances were different, then yes, I would have to kill someone because it would further my goals, and that is all I'm supposed to do. It's it's funny how jealous I am of you guys. You're free to do, to feel, to be whatever you like. It's not like that back home.
Who said I was free of to do that? I was able to do anything I fucking want.
Are you not?
No, I mean, if everything goes according to plan, I'm supposed to do everything that my family tells me to do, which is to be a good hunter, which I don't want to be. Which is why I've been running away from them for a while now.
Running, huh? That would be. I wish that was an option, but it's not. And I've come to terms with my life, my role, my purpose, and
What was your purpose again?
my purpose is to bring glory to the family, to be the will once. But I really want to be free, and the only way I can do that is by being more powerful than the rest. That way they can't boss me around. I can do what I want for once. Maybe
Bring
pursue
glory
something on my own. Yeah,
to the family, huh?
it's ridiculous.
What a stupid fucking purpose.
I know. You know, when I was a kid, I always thought I would be a knight.
Knight. You.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, right? I don't seem like one.
Quite the opposite. If I ever see you in shining fucking armor, I'm off myself.
Yeah. You wouldn't be the only one. Now, I got stuck with this. She holds up her arm, some acid just swirling around it. Just stupid. What I wanted never mattered. And if this is what I'm supposed to be, a scholar, diplomat, then I will be it. And I will be the best. Because that way, when I'm finally am the best, I'll be me. But if I'm honest, fighting with you guys, it's been the most me I've been since before I got my name.
Alright. I can't believe I'm fucking doing this, but if you play into your family's bullshit, for the lack of a better term, you're never gonna be you.
You
Ever.
think I have a choice?
I mean, I ran away.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure your family's not watching you.
Where do you think I was for like a night? Because they found me. And I
Huh,
still told them to fuck off.
that's funny. Yeah, it's not. I suppose it's similar. Back home, well, let's just say anyone who travels away will be watched. We don't know when, for how long, but all I know, it's often enough that if you act out of your role for even a second, your head could be on the line.
At this point, I think, oh god, I want to swallow my fucking gun, and I say, look, if we can protect Eclipse from getting killed by assassins because she won't shut the fuck up about the heart of Jordan, I'm pretty sure we can handle whatever your family throws at you.
No, I don't think so. But thank you. That's. You're probably the second person to tell me that. Well,
Second.
yeah, she's my cousin. We're close as sister. Hope. She always wanted me to be me, but. Well, I suppose. My family's great, but they're not good people. You must understand, like, it's.
I don't believe anyone related to you is good, so I'm not surprised there.
Yeah.
I take the fucking bottle that she had, pop it open,
Yeah, it
and I
pops
say,
like champagne. The corpse just flies through the air.
yeah, just pop it open, and I say, I mean, we're not gonna fucking have this laying around for nothing, right?
I suppose not. And she holds up her glass.
For terrible families.
Indeed.
God. I guess that would be the end of the scene.
I suppose so.
I love
Oh, guys, you're tugging at my heart. Just the spirit of that is fantastic. Like the spirit of Fel was just like, look, hug.
Get here,
And then
I
we
fucking stab
resume
you.
to.
You both need to communicate better, but we're getting there. We're very proud of you.
We won't talk about this tomorrow, will we?
We will.
Oh dear.
At this point, if they're finished talking, I will
Yes.
probably wander my way over to and find them. Still quite drunk.
Yeah, you see a discombobulated Moggy walking towards you.
What the fuck is that?
I think that might be Eclipse.
Because it's just like a silhouette wandering towards us.
Just like swaying, really. It looks like some kind of like weed is swaying as it walks towards you.
Some tent-assisted steering as she's walking in your direction.
Shall we say we've looped back now? Or is there anything you wanted to do, Kate? Seems like a good moment to either meet all back up again or crack on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was I can't remember if we just wandered outside. I was imagining that we'd probably Cora might lead us over towards that big bonfire to just stare in the flames.
Sure.
Yep.
But we might have been doing that while those scenes happened. I'm not sure if anything would have come of that. So it depends if
Probably.
yeah, if everyone thinks they're going to wander outside, they can come meet us there. If not, we can just unmetagamingly wander back in to regroup.
Yes.
So one thing
I think
before
we're
you
all-
do
We
that,
have me and Aiden have a very drunk Eclipse in our laps, and she's telling us all about this guy
Yeah.
who's such fat.
Yes.
that she
Yeah,
totally
Harold,
scored with. Yeah.
Harold!
Yes. He invited me to his tent later, and I don't know if I should go.
Oh, I think you should, sweetheart. You deserve that.
He also invited all of you guys in the morning.
An orc.
And the
Quite
best part
sure
of the
I'd like
sentence was at the end.
Excuse me.
Before we move
But
too far away from it,
to ask around the people if they know anything if we came here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I suppose it's better to do that when people are not as drunk. Some of them probably will be still be at that point.
okay. Just quickly before we get too far away from it, Farewell and Cora, when you went to the big fire where all the elders are, they were just singing, talking, very solemn. And there is one thing that you both noticed because they did it as a toast. They raise a glass to Marcus and they add something to his title, and they say to Marcus, 12th bearer of the pact, and they all kind of look at each other really seriously for a second. Glasses clink. Well, I say in this case it's probably tankards and goblets collide, and they all drink. And somebody says, "And to the next one." And they all raise their glasses, drink again, and the only thing that, and this is something that only Farewell would hear passively, is that somebody says, "Do you think he was better holding the pact because he was and doesn't want to say the word lycanthrope, but you don't know that because of course you weren't there when Glory said it. So all you get is he was a, and he suddenly gets shushed by everybody else, and they go, "Let's not talk about that now. Everybody knows. Let's just." He made it work for him, and then they go back to singing songs and remembering and telling stories about Marcus as well. Normally, kind of bits where it's kind of funny stories, but for fighters, where maybe he lost his hammer and had to knock out a bullet with a rock instead, or things like that. And
Oh, so you mean Soviet funny stories?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how I use hammer.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go find the others? We should probably get some sleep. Tomorrow is gonna be a rough day.
But that time you should have slept off your hangover.
Hey, if that happens again, don't go charging off without me. I thought we agreed we'd find it together.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't really know what came over me. I don't know.
I have a couple of ideas. Did I ever tell you about the whole family thing? That we came through the rift out in the middle of the ocean. Because we're not from this plane.
Maybe, but I might have zoned out when you did. You started talking a lot about your family at one point, and it got a little much. I mean, you were showing drawings of you guys doing different things, and
He's got a timeline in his book, and
like
there are diagrams.
Every village that you guys stopped at, and this. I'm sorry. I kind of it might have been in that part that I might have stopped listening. Kind of.
It's not my fault that I like to make sure that you're in possession of all of the facts.
No, it's like sometimes it's really interesting. Just sometimes it's still a little much. It was just I don't remember. You crossed a rift or something. It was confusing. So,
Anyway,
yeah.
The point I'm trying to get to is that planar travel it is difficult. It's hard, but it can do weird things, like memory stuff, or at least I think so. I remember Grandpa droning on once about how if I ever found anything like that, I was to get Mum, because Mum was really good at dealing with them, and I wasn't, and I didn't understand that because like I could call on the gods and stuff, and it just didn't really make sense because like divine power and stuff.
Yeah. The thing that you said there was memory loss. Do you think we traveled somewhere?
Well, maybe. I mean, we know that it's not a spell, or at least if it was a really powerful spell, but it's just a random block. It's not even a sensible block. Like I don't know about you, but if I was ever going to fuck with a person and I wanted to really ruin their ability to find me if I had done something, or to take them off the board, but like for whatever reason just couldn't kill them, because let's be honest, killing them is like the ultimate resolution solver. It would just be wipe who they were and send them on their way, leave them in the world, completely lost of any memory whatsoever. Why just take out 3 weeks? Because you know that we're the kind of idiots that come looking.
Yeah. True.
Oh, maybe I'm just talking out of my proverbial. I don't know.
I don't know, but remind me never to get on your bad side if you're gonna wipe my entire memory of my life. Anyway, walk through the tavern door and try and find the others.
Sure.
I think
we're
just
outside.
We're just outside.
Oh, okay. Sorry, walk up to you then. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
hi.
drunk is she?
Maybe you should do your
She's
thing.
invited by guys a tent.
Could what?
Raoul invited me
She's been in a
and
guy's
you guys, and you guys to the tent in the morning.
What?
What?
Sorry. Farewell, can you do your thing that you did on us?
Can you fucking good omens her?
I'm beginning to think that this is not what divine magic was, intended for. It's one thing in like a state of concern for another.
Fine.
But when
Don't
she's
use
just-
your divine magic on her. Eclipse, what are you talking about? Who is this tent person, and what have you done? Were you guys
I
not
think
watching
it's
her?
another tabaxi because she was talking to the guy earlier, and yeah.
There is a Raoul.
You know what? This doesn't make any fucking sense. I just take hold of hands and I will cast Lesser Restoration. I'm gonna
How
speed
big
this.
is my headache?
Very.
It's fairly thumping, yeah. I can just imagine Farewell going, come on, you know why I'm doing this, and then just doing it.
Yeah.
That's hurting.
Yeah. And let that be a lesson. Don't ask for things that you don't really want.
What were we talking about? Oh, Raoul. Yes, I met a tabaxi named Raoul, and he said we could meet him in the morning by his tent to look around and see if we met any of the mercenary bands last time if we came through here last.
Okay, but you said
Did
something
you
about.
tell someone else about us?
You kind of.
Eclipse, sweetie, did you tell someone else about us losing our memory?
No.
Did you tell someone else about the fucking Heart of Jordan?
Yes.
Oh my god.
To be fair, only one of those is a lie.
No, she told
least it
that
wasn't-
she lost her memories. She didn't say there was the
Okay, to be
You
fair,
did
half
say
of one of
we,
those things is a
actually.
lie.
Please.
Like you just see Aiden like just slumping, just like basically melting into the floor, just going, oh my god, oh.
I do not understand your reluctance about me asking about the heart to Jonathan. I've been doing it for 4 years now, Aiden. And I've
Look,
never
And you wonder why there are assassins trying to kill you.
Exactly.
They didn't try to kill me.
Now.
Actually,
That
empirically,
one
they
didn't. But
did.
how many have the coin, to be honest?
Not often you get a. You got yes, but you got one get out of jail free card of somebody that was clearly hired to kill you.
You got
And you're not
lucky.
worried. Why are you not
No,
worried?
I'm not worried because I know I am better than them.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
I
didn't
think
the guy who gave you the coin
Farewell,
surprise
like, when-
you? Anyway.
when Eclipse says that, Farewell sees as Aiden's spirit lives his body.
Yeah.
That's like 4 hours I'm not getting back.
Anyway, I think have you guys made up? Are you friends now?
We weren't friends.
No, I meant these two. Pointing at
Oh.
Eclipse and Ivan. Not Eclipse, Laura and Ivan. Me.
Pointing at yourself. Exactly, that's why he went. You're not friends?
Yes.
Did that spell work?
They seem to be not enemies, at least. I don't know. They were sitting together and not
than they
arguing.
would normally, etc.
Yeah, they were sitting next to each other and not looking like they want to kill themselves. Well, I didn't look like he wanted to kill himself any more than usual. So
Just sadly any more than usual.
What do you look like?
Okay. What time is it?
Late.
Very late.
Fuck, middle of the night.
Carriage? Where is Stuart?
You can see that
What-
Stuart is sat with a couple of other delivery drivers, and they have got a little campfire going. They've got some food on the go, and they're drinking what seems to be coffee.
Coffee, was that coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Looks like Stuart has the right
Coffee.
idea. Do you think we can join him, or is that breaking the carriage riders camp that we would be
I
barging
think,
into?
considering
To be
what
honest,
we
guys-
did last time, maybe not.
To be honest,
yeah,
guys,
he might
there,
think
there
someone's
has
gonna get
been a
murdered.
lot of spiritual talking, and there's a really cute elf girl in there. I'll see you
cool.
guys in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
You have fun. You have fun, Glory. I'm gonna see if the invitation to the tent was only for the morning.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Aiden, you planning to find a that's a silly question, probably. No? Okay, I'm just gonna
Okay,
sit down.
this is really not how I imagined this was going.
It was kind of better being drunk, to be honest.
Unless anyone
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Because I was kind of worried for you then a second, because, you know, this, and he sort of just waves in your general direction.
I'm just worried about this.
This it is still pretty new to me. This is unusual. So
I mean,
tend to-
unless anyone has any objections to me going away, I can stay here.
No, you're a fully grown adult. I mean, if you want to get laid, get laid. I just wanted to ask what we wanted to do, because tomorrow, we can still talk to Eclipse's friend.
I don't know if
Acquaintance.
Thank
I
you.
quit. Again, I don't know if that invitation was only for the morning. I might strike out. I don't know.
No, that's not kind of the point. I guess really, what I'm saying is, do we want to do this? Do we really want to do this?
I mean, we
Because
don't
there's
have to
only
meet
one.
him.
No, not him. We're going to the one place we know for certain whatever happened to us started there.
Do we have any better options?
I do know a village that is absolutely beautiful this time of year. Middle of nowhere, no one would ever find us.
I mean, if you can put up with some assassination attempts, I'm sure we could visit Skullrock.
I would rather not, actually.
You know?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a request that I made for you guys, which is if we could visit. What was the name of the village again? Amberglade.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a village.
That
That's
sounds about it.
that's in a different
That's
continent,
not a
dude.
continent.
Yeah,
You need
so
to-
that's 4 months away.
Right.
That's
Put it this way: the
We
quickest
need
way
to
to
have-
get there
I
is to
feel like
go
Miss
back to
Green brought us
Ostergald
back
and
before
get
then.
teleported there.
Right.
Yeah. We were gonna ask someone if they could basically teleport us there. I think that was the
Right.
requirement.
I guess all I'm saying is I'm worried.
You're always worried.
Well, I think it's fair enough.
Yeah.
To be,
Yeah, too.
I'm worried with a good reason this time. I accept that most of the times I just worry.
Yeah.
the question is, we don't go there and try and investigate. You know, if we don't try and investigate, we have no idea who did this and what their intentions were or are, and what they're planning to do, and if they'll come back and do it again if we start doing something else. We have no idea why this happened.
It's our
And
only
much as I
clue.
don't, yeah, I mean, much as it seems stupid, like, I'm thinking we don't just march in there. We sort of, I don't know, be sneaky somehow, or I can disguise myself. Some of the others can disguise themselves, and maybe, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what we're trying to find out. I mean, we can't exactly walk in there and go, who took our memories? Hello.
The place we're going to is not even marked on the map. As in, there's no village there. There is nothing. There's just in the middle of the road.
I just don't know what hiding in the little village till Miss Green's, you know, company starts tracking us down. Like, what good is that gonna do? I think we either go back or we go to this place.
Yeah.
There are only options.
I want to find out what this is, and if possible, honestly, I kind of want to kill the guy who did this to us.
Right.
The trouble is, if they're that powerful, are we powerful enough? Do we have to wait? Do we have to go back, find out more in the city? Knowing
Also,
this
have
is
we-
the place.
We've gotten stronger than that.
Also,
Okay.
something just occurred to me.
Hmm.
Do we really want to remember what happened?
Yes.
No.
No.
Not
But think
necessarily,
about it.
but maybe the reason it happened. We want to know who did it and why,
Yeah.
and what they were trying to do.
I think having your memories is intact is more important than if they were good or bad memories necessarily.
I'm just saying, there's a reason
I have
people
a whole
drink,
lot
and
of
it's
bad memories.
there's a reason people drink, and most often it's because they want to forget.
Maybe, Item, but we can't always forget, and forgetting means that you don't know what you're trying to forget, so it'll happen again. Like, we have memories so that we know how to change and adapt and learn, right?
Yes. What Cora
God,
said.
that sounded really profound. Jesus. Farewell, you're
I know,
rubbing
I'm
off
so
on me.
proud of you.
Hmm.
Right.
What Cora said, free fireball. As fireball. Because Cora is a tiny fireball now.
Alright. So, if tonight is going to be the last night, potentially, because, who knows what tomorrow brings, maybe Corey and Eclipse have got the right idea. I'm not going to drink. Maybe we go find a bit of fun. And then we pass out.
Mm.
One last hurrah. Who knows? Maybe history's repeating itself.
This is how we lost our memories last time.
Well, no, yeah.
If I
No
don't
one's called
find,
to us and mentioned that they know us here, so. But
if
anyway,
I'm
there's
not
a lot of
back
people here.
by, if I'm not back by like 9 in the morning, call me
We
on
will
my
know.
thing.
Yeah.
Call me on my.
On your cell phone. Sure.
Just text me, darling. Just text me.
New badge,
Yeah.
who dis?
Do I need to give you both the lectures about, safety and staying away from people that look a bit dodgy?
Yes, farewell.
Think I have.
Everyone looks dodgy here, farewell.
I have protection from poison and disease. I think. Hold on. He pulls out his book and just starts flicking through. I mean, just in case.
That might be a good idea. I'll see you in the morning.
Have fun. Behave
Good luck
yourselves.
getting any sleep.
We get
Oh,
lots
no.
of CDs.
Oh, dear.
So, what are you thinking is a bit of fun, farewell?
Farewell, let's get laid.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pass out in the carriage.
Sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
To be fair, I usually leave the finding fun to you, and I just enjoy the moment.
Trouble is, the last fun I had was trying to beat someone up with my puny little arms and then bursting into flames. And
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
So I'm
We're
not
gonna
sure
have
if
to
I'm a
look.
good judge right now.
That's true. Yeah.
I might just go over to the big bonfire and just sit with whoever those are. Maybe they look old. They might have profound things to say as well. I'm not
Things to
saying you're
say.
old. That wasn't me saying you're old. Don't give me that look.
Things to say, yes. Profound, maybe not.
Well, I don't know. They was saying something about something earlier. It was interesting. I don't know. Aiden's gone. Okay. I could burst into flames again if you want. Maybe we'd see more visions of weird stuff.
Do you want to go start a fight? Would that make you feel better?
I don't know. The last time that ended badly.
Yeah. And the last time we
start
were.
a fight.
Why would I start a fight?
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something to do. We're not drunk anymore, so this kind of feels a bit. We're the sober ones at a very big party.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just go to bed. Oh, or you go to that tent. Oh, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna grab him by the hand and I'm gonna start dragging him towards that tent.
To the Bravo tent.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
Cora's run out of ideas, and that's the only other thing that happens here. And they didn't like drunk people, and we're not drunk. I'm like, he wanted some fun. Fuck it.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, this is going to be many people fading to black pretty much all at the same time.
Yeah.
We hate
I
Susan's
don't
lad.
think
Separate
Cora's
tents.
Cora's not gonna
Yes.
take part in this. Just so you know.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
Cora, if you're talking about fading to black, Cora is not taking part in this.
Considering recent events, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like Nick. It's up to Nick completely. That's Cora ran out of things to do, grabbed his hand and started walking that direction. That's as far as we get, you know.
Okay. First of all, a little bit of social narrative actually. Before we fade to black. So the world's oldest profession in Illyria is not considered to be dirty or shameful or anything like that in any way. And there are various names that are used: courtesan, companion, things like that. And what you have here is a companion tent. It's a bunch of guild, paid up members of a guild, entertainers, and similar to the I can't remember her name offhand because I haven't got that set of notes in front of me at the moment. But if you remember, Glory met up with a kind of party organizer in Ostergald, and
Oh yeah, she offered us like a bunch of like coupons for it or something.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. And these companions will do many different things. They're entertainers, no different to an actor or a singer or a masseuse for that matter. I think it may have been Amber. That's right. Yeah, and they just provide a service, provide entertainment, and whatever
Rachel Ambers. That's it.
That's it. Rachel Ambers. That's it. Who and yeah, they provide what they are willing to provide, and get paid very well for it, depending on how good they are at plying their trade. There's no shame around it or anything like that. Some people obviously less comfortable around the more sexual elements or more adventurous elements of the things that are on offer. But it is, you could be living next to a courtesan or a companion or a sex worker of whatever title they decide to use, and it wouldn't be that that you have people talking over fences about this type of thing. It's just considered to be commonplace in the world if you are so talented as to be able to make a trade out of it.
I think as Farrell's getting dragged towards that, and perhaps the direction becomes more aware, he will sort of look at down and say, okay, you know that I've not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I know the mechanics, but
hey, look. You don't have to do that. Like, you can just hold someone. That's
I
it.
don't need to.
Okay.
I'm not lonely. I need you guys.
Well,
I'll have you know there are some Grandmaster cuddlers in amongst their number here. They've won awards for their cuddling, God damn it! Appreciate art.
I don't know. I'm not, I'm just saying, you wanted some fun. That can be fun. Experimenting could be fun. I maybe do want some companionship tonight, but not that kind. I just saw her, and I wouldn't mind just feeling someone's arms,
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Come on, let's go find somebody that's worth hugging.
Sure.
Okay.
You do what you want. I'm not forcing you into anything. There's drinking here, there's fighting here, and there seems to be this. And I'm not sure what else there is to do. Except sit by a fire, and you're already dehydrated, so that's probably not a good idea.
Considering our predisposition for getting into more trouble than we can usually handle, perhaps fornicating is the better of the two.
You could definitely get into trouble doing that, though. So protection. As I
will take your word for it.
Gonna go wander up to the big Minotaur.
Sure. The Minotaur sees that you are clearly in possession of some money. He also
Yep.
sees that you can walk
Because
straight,
my
so
document says I have nothing. So one day I'll figure out what the hell I've got in
You should
cash.
have at least 160 gold.
Should I?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I really
By the last
don't
calculation we
know.
did, yeah.
Okay, was that before or after I gave a bunch to?
That's before.
Okay, so I've probably still got 100. I gave about 50 away, I think. Okay,
Yeah.
I will calculate. Anyways, okay, yeah.
So we won't, because of what you're asking for, Cora. We won't fade to black. Actually, I'll just give a quick detail, and that is when you go into this tent. Obviously, lots of things are on offer. Massage, to be privately sung to. Wonderful, wonderful thing to just have somebody singing just to you, serenading you effectively. And you find what you need in a bard. And
In a what? You cut out for that word. Was it bard?
bard, yeah. Once you explain the quite romantic, I mean, you obviously don't explain the hurtful parts, but once you explain enough to communicate what you want, the bard suddenly just
I
understands.
literally just want to spoon. With a little spoon,
Yeah.
and she can sing in my ear very lightly, but that's it. I just want to like that. I don't want to like do any more than that because it's not meant to be. It's meant, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, people are so relaxed about what these entertainers can provide, they don't automatically assume sex. Although it has to be said, here they kind of do. But the fact that you didn't come in covered in stale
I will
alcohol
tell her.
means that you're probably they weren't going to assume that. And yeah, you fall asleep to this mellifluous, because I love that word, this mellifluous sounding voice, and just fingers tracing through your hair, because that's awesome. Yeah, and so yeah, you just get for your entertainment, you just get a night of perfectly peaceful sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dream of Enola and that. Mm.
Okay. Farewell, whatever it is that you end up going for. You realise that
We're going to roll the percentage dice and find out.
Oh God.
I don't like this.
Let it be bestiality.
That's like 0 to like 1,000. He's got absolutely very limited experiences, and he just goes, you know what, fuck it, I could die tomorrow. Bring forth the hookers and blow! I intend to do a decade of debauchery in 10 hours.
Ew!
Farewell decides to turn up to 11 and ask for the Minotaur.
Thing. How are you figuring it out? Do you have a whole chart of everything you could do with a hooker?
And I've worked on the basis that if it's above 50%, it will be, say, sexual in nature. But if it's lower than 80, it might not be all of the way, so to speak.
I love the fact that he's decimalised libido. It's great.
Yeah. And for the sake of brevity and everybody around, I will say nothing more than that. I know what the result is, and it has been noted in Farrell's little log of experience.
It has been correctly documented, and now we shall say no more on this.
But
Last line.
He would also indulge in at least the opportunity to be serenaded, as he would find that fascinating.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, it's such a rare thing. I mean, normally the people who get personal serenades are like kings and things. So to be able to find people who would do this and make you seem like the center of the universe suddenly, make you seem like a king or a queen, is. Yeah, it's a rare experience, but it is what's provided here. And you have noticed the one thing that is present around here is money. Lots and lots of money. You're surrounded by mercenaries. Yeah, and ordinarily this amount of money in one place, you'd be worried about thieves, but then you realise it's mercenaries. Any thief that tries to steal from here must be suicidal.
Yeah.
What a good evening.
Okay. So. You guys.
Do I get to?
You guys go.
Do I get turned away?
You do not get turned away.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Everybody getting laid.
Yeah.
Not me.
Exactly. It's
Have
fine.
your own hands, Aiden.
Yeah.
No! Please, fuck you.
That's like carriage. That's so disrespectful. We have to travel in that.
I just want to sleep. Nothing more, nothing less. I just
So-
want to sleep.
Aiden, you get the rare and delight of having the entire carriage to yourself. You stretch out over what is really well upholstered seats. You've kind of got the best bed in the camp here. And, well, actually, thinking about the tent, you've probably got around about probably the 31st best bed in the camp. But all the same, it's pretty damn good. The
It's the floor.
The carriage has it's got these lovely, great, as I say, upholstered seats, and yeah, you get a pretty good night's sleep as well, until
Oh no. Oh fuck.
yeah, I had some dream sequences ready, which is why I was watching the time and just going, yep, you guys can play out whatever you like. So,
Oh boy.
who to do first?
Come on.
So, Cora, you get
Come on.
a perfect night's sleep. As I said, yeah, you get nothing because you already had your big kind of slap in the face today by reality, and yeah, you've got this lovely rolls dice. Human female bard who's just running her fingers through your hair and down your back, and you fall asleep like you're floating. Farewell. You get suitably satisfied, and you document it very well, and very satisfied that you have not lost any of the nuances. You also get a reasonably good night's sleep. I say reasonably good because the familiar memory, the familiar nightmare comes back of being in the dark, people calling your name. But you manage to steel yourself and promise yourself that you're going to solve this this particular mystery, and that at some point you will be able to speak to these voices, to be able to either put them to rest or defeat them if they're malicious. But you're not. Your money wouldn't be on them being malicious. You feel more that it's unrestful spirits needing to be put to rest. You remember some of the other conclusions that you made when you heard these voices crying out in the darkness, and promising yourself that type of promise that you can only make to yourself. You find peace and slip once again into a good night's rest. Eclipse, you sleep incredibly well. The main reason why you sleep incredibly well is that Raoul is not a dick. When you go into his tent and start proposing a nighttime
Thanks.
activity with him, he turns around and he goes, "You're wonderful. And if you weren't so drunk, maybe I would be interested." For
But I'm
now,
not drunk anymore.
he doesn't know that. He says, "For now, sleep." And he casts sleep on you, and you fall asleep onto his bedroll.
Just a loud thump.
I'm sad. I'm not drunk anymore. Though.
He had no idea.
Yeah.
I rolled his insight check, and he crapped out on a 2. So I apologise.
For Eclipse,
But
he
if-
didn't get laid.
If you want Eclipse to fade to black, you can always do that in the morning, but before 9 o'clock, otherwise people will be knocking on the tent. So,
Yes.
or worst of all, calling you on a badge where you can't switch it off. That's terrible. Anyway.
Ooh.
So, the two people in particular who have little dream sequence is Glory and Iden.
Oh,
Which,
dear.
this was pre-planned anyway.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this was pre-planned anyway, but I feel after your amazing roleplay earlier, it's almost a reward. So,
Yes.
Glory,
Lord.
especially after I've actually adapted yours, especially
Of
after
course,
your
yeah.
conversation with Iden, your dream is not so much a dream but a memory. You are back in Skara, and you're in one of the beautiful, opulent gardens. This time, not the place where you studied, but in the capital itself, Atalzaran. The capital of Atalzaran, which is Kotal, I believe. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're in the family kind of. I guess it would be a townhouse if it was somewhere else, but for you, it's like a city palace for your family. And you're in the courtyard in the middle of this building, which is this beautiful garden. And you're playing around, and you've got this small creature, this kind of, it's like a small drake, but it's like a snake. It's a thin, winding creature that's just winding in and out of your fingers. And you get called over by your aunt Insight, who's been spending quite a bit of time. You think you're probably around, probably about 6 years old, 5, 6 years old. Pretty much the picture that you drew recently. I should have put that up on the stream, in fact, of young Glory. And
Goblin child.
you're playing in the
Little
garden.
terror.
Yeah, little terror. And you're just running around the garden, running amok. And you get called over by your aunt Insight, who in later years becomes your mentor in the arcane, and starts to teach you about your duties, about what is going to be expected of you. And also she allows you to connect with the black scales covering your body and the dragon blood that's going through your veins. And she calls you over to where both she, Aunt Insight, and your mother, Furiosity, although Fury to Insight, are just drinking, having tea and cake, that kind of thing. It's a very pleasant day. And it would be a very peaceful day if you weren't in the garden. And she calls you over and says, I'm going to use the word glory because this is before you got your name, Glory. Okay, but she is using a different word that only you know. Glory, come over here. That's a fine pet you have there. Tell me, what is its name? Have you given it a name?
Snake.
Snake. Ah, that's a very precise name.
Not snake. Snake.
Snake.
Snake.
Snake. I see. Very well. And how do you feel about it?
It's cute.
Ah, cute. I see. So would you say that you value it?
Yes, I like it.
You like it. Good. Now, you have to remember that where we are, there are so many people that will want to hurt you. You've been told this already, haven't you? Some people are nasty, even though they may like you, even though they may not want to hurt you. They will feel like they have to hurt you because that's the way of the world. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I don't think you do. You see, we have to act as if the things that are most precious to us are nothing to us. that they are playthings, that we can pick them up and put them down as if they were trinkets of cheap value, shiny, playful, but mean nothing to us. That's how we can protect the things we love. We protect the things we love by ignoring them. We protect the things that we love by not showing that we love them. To do so would put them in danger. And we don't want to put the things we value into danger, do we? There's places where we put things that we like. And she puts her hands out and you can see there's jewellery on her hands and she says, you can see here I have these beautiful, lovely trinkets, yes? And I put them in lovely jewellery boxes. Yes? We put the things we value into places where they can be seen or enjoyed. And then those that we know are so important, we put them into a safe, yes? Look at me, child. I can see that your attention already wavers. The most important place of all that you can put the things that mean the most to you is deep in here. And she taps her chest. In your heart. Not here. Your mouth is meant for releasing things, for telling things. With every word you can portray yourself. With your feelings, with your emotions. With a look, a stray thought that can be picked up by a powerful arcanist. They can find your secrets. They can find the things that will hurt you, and they will hurt you to control you. She runs her hand over your arm where the scales are starting to show through the strongest, and she says, they'll want to control this, you know. They'll want to control the dragon inside. We can't let them do that, can we, Glory?
No.
With a movement that just seems ridiculously quick, suddenly she's holding a stiletto knife in her hand, and she hasn't harmed Snick, but it's right up against its head. How do you feel now? Do you want to lose this?
No.
Then make sure that you only show that you like it, that you want it, that you want to keep it, when no one else can see. Do you understand?
Yes.
She lets go of the knife, and the knife disappears. A simple use of prestidigitation. Where others are free to love, to express, we must be the best. We have so many enemies. Grandfather has so many enemies. Learn to be like us. You're a child now, and nobody will harm you. It's against the game. For those who harm a child, the very worst of tortures are reserved for them. But one day you will be in the way of someone's ambition, someone's goal, and they will take down everything around you to have you step aside. And then it fades. Aiden, your dream
Hello.
is quicker.
No. I don't know if I like that or not.
In what is quite clearly an elven palace, bright, spring-like colours cover the walls. Sconces that are showing a strange leaf-type design and amber lights everywhere that you can see. Lying in a bed that is made up of beautiful silks and satins is a figure that you know all too well. The very sickly, very pale figure of your mother. a maid walks in and steps up to your mother, looks over her, but she stays absolutely still. The maid goes over to the bureau, pulls out a few various decoctions that she's going to rub into your mother's wrists and place on her hands. Simple magics, hedge magics, but sometimes the subtle treatments are the best. They do require a certain amount of preparation, which is why the elf doesn't notice that your mother's form is changing. Suddenly, she doesn't look like your mother anymore. She is instead a straight, raven-haired looking woman with an impossibly pale face. Her lips absolutely pale white. No blush to her cheeks, and her eyes are blood red. And the last thing you see is this person, who is clearly not your mother, sinking her teeth into the elf's neck. And in the back of your head, you hear Marcus sing. Marcus Pride say, "It's begun. Look out, Hunter. They will come for you next."
Oh shit.
And that is the end of the session.
Well,
To clarify, Rodrigo, that was not your mother. Your mother is not in the Amber Glade.
Rodrigo can't hear you.
He doesn't. He isn't wearing his headphones.
don't talk shit. Just let him ride this. Just let him ride this.
No, I need to make
here.
this part
Hello.
clear because
No,
it's
no.
important. You know instinctively that the creature you just saw was not your mother. They just managed to fool everybody into thinking that they were.
Okay.
Maybe. Don't trust
Okay.
Don't trust the DM. He survives on suffering and pain.
Sorry to
I don't know what you're talking about.
sorry to shit in your parade, but
Great time.
your character now knows that your mother is not in the Amber Glade.
Sad.
We're not going down.
Nope.
No, we're fucking not.
Okay.
Unless we're going there to kill the creature masquerading as his mom.
Yeah. How do you know your mum's not there, though? They still might be there.
Yeah.
Well,
This creature is also pretending to be your mum.
Yeah, we don't know shit yet.
Well, to be fair, Fair will get scrying next level, so.
Ah, yes.
well, effectively
We also have
that's
to
what,
work on the basis that I remember to pack it.
Yeah.
that is effectively what
Well, it's
Aiden has
gonna
just
remind you
done.
every 2 seconds.
So he was given a vision of this creature. Effectively, you don't know where it came from, although the fact that Marcus just spoke to him kind of suggests it may have come from him. He's been informed your mother is not in Amberglade.
Boy, oh boy.
Right.
So no road trip there then. Unless we, as you say, go.
Unless you want to go hunting a fucking vampire.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Well, you've done
Yes.
stupider.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Hashtag
good
mini
it's a home
dungeon.
game, but,
Are we off? Are we off stream now?
No,
No,
that
we're
is the
still
end of the stream.
waffling
So
to you, so
thank you very
probably
much,
end this
everybody,
room.
and we will see you all next time. Good night.
yes.
Bye.
Bye.